Well, that stinks. Wow, welcome back to the Red Ones Go Fast. Old Big Mac here, and what stunk today was actually not Games Workshop for once. It's my stupid computer. Let's get into it. All right, first of all, I am hours and hours and hours behind schedule, and it's not your fault, and it's not GW's fault. It's not even my normal film setup's fault. It is my dumb laptop's fault. I bought a brand new laptop to do better videos for you guys, do picture-in-picture things. I spent hours filming 5 different takes, finally got one I was happy with, put everything together, had a whole video edited, and absolutely cannot get the format right to upload to YouTube. All these different formats and all these different things really suck. So my apologies that the quality is still good old-fashioned Big Mac staring at a screen and talking at you with his hands and his big ugly mug instead of the wonderful polished picture-in-picture thing that I had done and spent hours working on. So if I can get that to work and get it uploaded, I will get it uploaded. But by the time I do, it will probably not be very timely anymore, and you're not going to be as interested in it as you are right now. Now, what are you interested in? Well, it is all of the reveals today from the World Championships of Warhammer. So let's get into it. All right, looking at my dumb computer screen through a camera because the picture-in-picture wouldn't work, but it is the World Championships of Warhammer, and holy smokes, did GW pull out all the stops on this one. First of all, Death Corps of Krieg, all brand new models, all brand new army box, which is really cool here. There is a new Lord Marshal. His name is Dreyer. He is on that big horse there, along with new sets of Death Riders. So these were the old Forge World units, now reimagined in plastic. Extremely cool. I am going to do a deep dive on each one of these things in their own separate videos. This is just a super quick overview to get in on the hype train, because boy is that hype train deserved today. Okay, so yeah, new Death Riders, multiple different weapon options. You get the spears or you get the swords and las guns, which is really cool. See right here, we can go through the different options there. Looking very cool indeed. There is also a combat engineer team. These guys are probably going to replace the kill team as far as the tabletop goes, so that you can run your kill team squads as regular Krieg squads. So those are the combat engineers. There's also the artillery team here with these huge heavy siege cannons, which are amazing. And then there's a few different weapon options for that. There's like this bombard. If this one is indirect fire, it's going to be amazing. There are these multiple rocket launcher tubes and this quad cannon. Those are all very cool. And of course, it's going to come with a special edition codex. They also announced that Death Corps of Krieg are going to get a brand new command squad, including commissar. So Death Corps of Krieg are led by commissars, not by captains. So you will see that, including a commissar cadet. That's this guy right here. Pretty cool looking in that command squad set. Moving on, the other thing that the Death Corps of Krieg are going to get is a heavy weapons squad, just like your Acadians and your Catachans and whatnot. The interesting thing is they're going to get 2 of their own unique weapon options. There's the Twin Heavy Stubber, which is very on point for Krieg, and a Heavy Flamer. How cool is that to have a squad of Heavy Flamers, or even just throw one in your, like your command squad or something like that to prevent some charging? That is a heck of an Overwatch unit right there. Really cool. There's also obviously a brand new Astra Militarum Codex. Now, another thing that they said about Astra Militarum is a brand new combat patrol is coming. It is going to be 10 Attilan Rough Riders, a Cadian command squad, and a Kasserkin squad, which is very interesting. Kasserkin have been very hard to get. They're one of the kill team units. Seeing one of those units end up in the combat patrol is very interesting. There's not a whole lot of doubling up on this box because 10 Rough Riders is 10 Rough Riders, and that's a lot. But if you haven't been able to get Rough Riders, or you've wanted a squad of them, that's a great way to add it to your unit. I think this combat patrol, combined with the current Cadian combat patrol, that's the 2 10-man squads, the command squad, and the big heavy cannon thing, those 2 are actually going to go together really well. So if you like the Cadians, it's a cool box. I think even if you don't like the Cadians, it's a cool box because there's only the 1 command squad in it, and you can always chunk those guys. and use the command squad parts with your other regiments like Krieg or Valhallan or whatever, or Catachan. But you're going to want the Casterkins as their own anyway, and the Rough Riders as their own anyway. So I'm very much looking forward to that box. So great time to be a Guard player. All right, next was Old World. Old World got Empire of Man was previewed. This is really cool because the army box that they're releasing is going to be all plastic, which is really cool. It's kind of hard to do a Old World army in all plastic, and yeah, Empire has a very, very large range of plastic. But it was super nice to see a bunch of old units coming back. The old Griffin coming back, the different regiments. These are also great for Guard players that want to do different regiments for their Guard. Might do like a feudal one, or the guys that the Vostroyan Firstborn and stuff like that. There's also these guys right here that make excellent cultists if you do Chaos armies or you know, crazy cultist of Imperium stuff. Yeah, lots of really cool options on the Empire. And of course, they've got their heavy artillery as well, including the repeater bolt thrower and their knights. A lot of people don't remember that Empire has their own knights. They have the Barded Knights. You've got your regular just kind of horse riders, the Pistoliers and whatnot. You've got your more royal type knights, just like the Bretonnians, the crazy carriages, and even the steam tank. So it's super cool to see Empire make a comeback. They are going to have some resin kits and some metal kits available as well. But yeah, entire range being released in Old World for Empire. Next was Horus Heresy, and boy did this deliver. So first of all, you've got the Arvis Lighter. This thing is super rad. It's in like all the books and all the video games and the animations. It was an Aeronautica Imperialis. It's super cool to get this as an actual mini. Comes with a door gunner in the back. The cockpit is removable so you can see the pilot. All sorts of really cool stuff. I can totally see lots of people wanting to get their hands on this to do conversions or just have it as like an extra piece or display or terrain. Very, very cool kit. They also have the Malkador, the other options basically. So there is the Tank Hunter here, the Valdor Tank Hunter. This thing is very, very rad, as well as the old school Orc Scorchus style Malkador Infernus tank. That's what they were calling it, which is super cool, towing around its trailer full of Promethium. This is cool. This is one of my favorite things. So the Deradero, or whatever the heck you want to call it, Dreadnought, is coming out with some new weapons options, but they're giving you both weapon sets in the box. Now this is huge. This is not normal Games Workshop in 2024. They have consistently been throwing individual kits out and making you buy weapons upgrades and things like that. For them to come out with a new kit with new weapons and go, you know what, we're just going to give you a whole extra set of weapons. That way your old Deradeo, if you wanted to convert him or put the extra weapons on him, you just can. There's 2 sets in the box. That's really cool. I'm super stoked that they're finally getting back to keeping us, the gamers and collectors and builders, in mind instead of just corporate interests. And that's something that we're actually going to touch on again here in a bit. Now, of course, this is an Orc channel, and it wouldn't be very orky of us to not talk about greenskins, and there was a lot of greenskin to talk about. So Age of Sigmar, the 2 Orc factions, the Cruel Boys and the Iron Jaws, are coming out in a single book, and it's actually pretty cool. They are... there's going to be multiple detachments for each that are just the Iron Jaws or just the Cruel Boys, as well as an army of renown where you can use both, which is pretty cool, so you can be both brutal and cunning. There's also a new Cruel Boys character, which nobody cares about. But moving on, there is a new terrain piece, which is really, really cool. It is the Boss Rock Tower. And this thing is rad. It is huge. It's this giant skull-shaped rock. There's these cool metal pieces for the for your regular orcs. And yeah, very, very cool looking. I definitely want to add this to my collection. I could totally see a lot of 40k players wanting to add it. And then there's even a different way. If you didn't want to use it on the Iron Jaws, if you actually collected the Cruel Boys, the weedy guys, they have this version of it. I assume this is all in the same box, where it's more like a dinosaur jaw in there and some more bones and then some wood to make the face. So you're definitely going to end up with extra parts that you can use for kit bashing and whatnot, and that is really cool. There's also these persistent effects, including Gork's Foot, possibly Mork's Foot, which is really, really cool. This is the big thing. This right here is the Orc War Clan's Spearhead. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar, the Spearhead is the AOS version of Combat Patrol. So this is the box that you will be able to buy always, or not always, but for at least the next few years. So don't get FOMO about this box. Don't overpay for it. It's going to be eminently available for a long time, and you'll be able to get it at a discount. And this is going to be absolutely fantastic for converters. And why is that? Well, that box has the Mega Boss, which makes a great basis for either a Beast Boss or a War Boss conversion. 10 Ardboys, which are all knob size, so you got 10 guys that you can turn into knobs. We've talked about this. They're in the Christmas Battle Force for Age of Sigmar that is on sale right now. You can go watch that video if you wanted to see more on that. There's also 3 of the Brute Ragers. Again, we talked about it in that video. You can make all sorts of special characters out of them: Weird Boys, Pain Bosses, things like that. And then 5 Brutes. Now, Brutes are the extra heavy-duty ones. Those are the guys that make a great basis for converting Mega Armor knobs. So getting 5 of those guys in this box is excellent. You combine this Spearhead with a healthy selection of bits, and you are definitely adding a bunch of elite units and special characters to your 40k Orc army. But again, don't overpay for it. Don't FOMO it. This is a regular box. It's the Spearhead. It's AOS's version of a Combat Patrol. This will be available for 15 to 20% off easily all the time. There'll be Amazon links, things like that. So don't fret about it, but this is an excellent box to look forward to. But wait, there's more, because that wasn't the only greenskin thing revealed. The Gloomspite Gits are also getting a whole new army box. And take a look at this. This is going to be a converter's dream. All of you Gits out there that are running Grot armies are going to love this box. So this is the Git Mob, and the Git Mob, in AOS, you've got your Bad Moon, Grots that all worship the moon. These guys hate the sun. It makes sense. But yeah, this is the best part about it. This guy right here, this is Drogs the Sun Champa. He's supposedly 600 years old. Except for Drogs is a Grot, and Grots don't live that long, and every time the Grot dies, they prop another one up on the wolf and keep going. And that's because the wolf is the actual Drogs, and the wolf is who is in charge. Now this, of course, is hilarious, because this is the lore that Kirioth came up with for the Lord Solar Leonatus figure when he came out. So that is, the old Imperial Guard had Lord Solar Macarius, who was just on foot, and then when they did their big re-release last year with the Cadians, we got this Leonatus guy that no one had ever heard of on a horse. He didn't make any sense to anybody, and Kirioth had this absolute banger of an episode where he was like, "You idiots, Leonatus is the horse. The horse is in charge. The horse is the Lord Solar. The guy on the back is nothing." And we love it. That is absolute de facto the lore. I don't care what Games Workshop says, that is the lore. But now GW has now gone and stolen this like a dirty, dirty Death Skull to use in Age of Sigmar for Drogs the Sun Champa. So hopefully Kirioth gets some remuneration for that, because it is his idea. But love that it got added to the greenskins. Moving on from Drogs, there are the regular Wolf Rider guys. These guys are going to be really cool. Drogs himself here, you could run as a Beast Boss on Squigosaur if you wanted. And the regular Wolf Riders, like this guy here, would totally make good Squighog boys. They actually have 2 Grots on each wolf with the long spike things. The base sizes appear to be the same. And then they have this extra optional unit that has the these chariots going on. So you could run these as your knob on Smash a Squig. So these are very, very cool. There's also, of course, these special codex and all that jazz. And then their extra models coming out later include the return of the Doom Diva Catapult. Take a look at this. Here is your alternative kill rig right here with the Doom Diver Catapult on it. How great is that for a Grot army? You could say I'm a bit biased toward liking Grot catapults as well from my Tacoma Open piece. There's also going to be another different chariot, War Chariot here, that's a little bit bigger, that is going to have options, including this giant boss pole thingy. So yeah, whole range coming out for Gloomspite Gits very, very cool. Which brings us to the last couple of things. They announced a Black Library thing coming, a celebration in February, like usual. 20 to 30 new books, something like that. They previewed like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 of them. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of books that are like foreign language and ebooks and things like that. But the most interesting thing they released is there's going to be a 200-page art book, which is really cool. Those of you that saw the Ultimate Guide that came out this Christmas think it's really cool but wanted an art book. This should be the art book version of that, which I'm greatly looking forward to. And then there's also going to be a new Munitorium field manual and uplifting primer combined together in a single tome. Now, for those of you that are not up on your real life Imperial Guard lore, the Infantryman's uplifting primer first came out about 20 years ago. Really, really cool. It's all first person. It's like they took a real one from the 41st millennium and just printed it. It's all written in first person. It is the full actual manual. It's very cool. They go for stupid money. They also made a Munitorium field manual that was a similar type of thing. Very, very cool. Also very limited. So they've squished these two tomes together to make a new one, which is really cool for people like me that even though I was around back when they first came out, I didn't manage to get my hands on one, and they are now both really, really expensive. However, it's also cool for people that already have the old ones because it's not going to screw up their value, because this one is written for a Death Corps of Krieg regiment specifically, and so it is a bit different. It is a bit thematic. So it's really cool that you can actually do something for both sets of people at the same time. Another good decision from GW. I'm getting really confused, but I'm really happy about it. Which leads me into the other thing GW announced with this, and that is 30 brand new detachments. They are coming out for Grotmas. There's going to be one every day throughout the month of December. 30 brand new detachments that you will be able to use in Warhammer 40,000 that are actually completely good. They are totally legal for everything, including competitive play and tournaments, which is amazing. We know what 5 of them are going to be. They already said that Deathwatch is going to be one of them, and then in the live stream they mentioned that all 4 Chaos Gods and their respective demons are getting their own standalone detachments. So you're going to get the 4 different Chaos Demon detachments plus Deathwatch and 25 other detachments. And they're all going to be free, and they're all going to be on the app, and they're all going to be like on the community page. You're going to be able to use them. What is Games Workshop doing, man? This is fantastic. And then that's when they dropped the absolute bomb on all of us with this. That's right, the Eldar Phoenix Lords have finally been done. Now, we knew that Fugan was coming because he got accidentally shipped when somebody ordered the old one, but of course, it's still cool to see them all, including the Fire Dragons are getting a glow up again, or finally. So we're getting all new Fire Dragons, which is very cool. There is Asherman, that is the original OG Phoenix Lord, and he is very much a carbon copy of the 2nd edition Eldar Codex cover. I can't love this model enough. It is so good. The details on it are just amazing. I am so looking forward to doing my Eldar army in 2025. Baharoth, Cry of the Wind, got his own brand new Phoenix Lord as well. I love that here on the feathers at the edge, they are actually splayed out and not just all connected with each other. That is a very cool new detail on him. And of course, he is also coming with brand new Swooping Hawks. These guys have consistently been one of the, if not the oldest units in the whole game, as far as since they came out, I think all the way back in like 1997. So for these guys to finally get a new unit is very, very good. And then they rocked us. Warp Spiders, for the first time ever, are getting a Phoenix Lord. Meet Lycus. So this is the new Phoenix Lord for the Warp Spiders. Extremely cool model. I love this one to pieces. And of course, he's coming with new Warp Spiders as well, who are very cool looking and come with either your traditional spinners or some close combat weapons that are new. So that is very cool. They are all coming out next year along with the new codex. They didn't give us an army box or anything like that, but they did give us some details. The biggest being that there are going to be some Drukhari units, some Dark Eldar units in the Eldar Codex. It's not replacing the Dark Eldar Codex. They were saying that the Yanari, the kind of like heretical pirate, whatever Eldar, they're going to be able to take units from both Drukhari and the Eldari. So yeah, you're going to be able to see a lot more mixing and matching between all the different Eldars, which is pretty darn cool. Again, doing things for the players. All right, that's going to do it for this one. My apologies at the absolute terrible quality of this in between the picture-on-picture and me just talking 1,000 miles an hour. Like I said, I had a much longer, much better one, all done, all edited, that I can't get uploaded. Really struggling with the technology here, so if you got anything for Old Big Mac, throw it down in the comments. I'd really, really appreciate it, because I'm working my butt off here trying to make this channel better for all of you. Thank you so much. We'll catch you in the next video, and until then, Wagon!